It is Elimination Chamber 2026 week, my friends, so you know the deal. We sit down like nerds, we try and predict the thing. I need to let you know I'm not actually here at the moment, I am away. So some things may have happened over the weekend. I'm recording this on Thursday, before the Monday it shall go live. So you may be like, Simon, why have you gone crazy? Well, the Simon that is presenting this to you is actually normal, but sure, the other one would be totally nuts. I don't know what that means, but make sure you drop me a comment below and let me know your Elimination Chamber predictions, because imagine you get all of them right, you're going to feel good for around about 42 minutes. Then something else will happen and we'll all forget. Let's predict the chamber. Wonderfully too, this video is sponsored by NordVPN, so thank you very much to Nord for helping me out. And actually, this works perfectly. Sounds like a ridiculous time, but it's true. I am away at the moment, like I say, and I shall be using NordVPN, because then I can access all of my subscriptions and my services that I'm signed up to in the United Kingdom when I am abroad, because that's what a VPN does. It allows you to choose the location of your internet browsing. It's also going to protect your connection as well, so no one does any funny business. And you can watch product your way, including professional wrestling. If there's a service you'd like to use, NordVPN will allow you to use it. So make sure you do click the link in the description below, which is nordvpn.com/Simon Miller, and you are going to get 4 months free on top of the subscription you'll already get. And if you're not happy with Nord, they will give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. But in terms of all the VPNs are out there, this is one of the reasons why I'm happy to support Nord. It's the best one by a country mile. It's super easy to use. You download the app, and honestly, my nan could use it. That's how simple it is. It is so broken down, and then you can choose where you want to do your web surfing from. I said web surfing like I was an old person, and that was absolutely ridiculous. So thank you, Nord. I appreciate you being on board, and remember to go and sign up today. Use my code. It's all down there, all the information in the description below. Let's go. So we'll start with the Women's Elimination Chamber that at the moment has, who have we got over here? I can't read this, my eyes are going crazy. Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka. I believe the last two people, you already know by the time you see this, I'm sure, will be Charlotte Flair and Io Sky. Although in the Io match, am I able to check that out too? You do have Raquel Rodriguez as well, and you have Kairi Sane. I would have put Kairi Sane in there because I think it's funny, Asuka yelling at her from afar. Raquel could squeeze into that as well, and if Io Sky is going to go feud with Julia, does she really need to be in this? Arguably not. So that could be interesting. And you could also do a tease between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, which WWE likes to do. It's become really interesting because I had predicted way back when that Bianca Belair would return. Now, actually, she had surgery on her finger on Monday, so all the best to her. And I hope she can come back soon because, my gosh, there is a Bianca Belair-sized hole in SmackDown. But the positive, and of course I'd much rather everybody was well in the ring, is that when you look through all these people, I have no idea what we're going to do. Let's take it as read that it's going to be Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquer, given that Stephanie Vaquer made Liv Morgan cry on Raw. Don't feel like we're going to go another direction now. I don't want to see Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. I think that's a boring option, only because we've seen them fight before. Now, of course, the counterpoint to that is that we never really did the rematch after Jade had won, because I think Tiffany got injured and went away until she did return at the Royal Rumble. But at WrestleMania, I like fresh matchups, which is why Charlotte Flair would also be a contender. But why ignore all the stuff with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, right? I think they should fall out in this match. Maybe, well, I suppose Alexa Bliss should pin Charlotte, given what happened at the Royal Rumble, and maybe Alexa Bliss can do it in an underhanded way, so she does go heel, and Charlotte can be like, I can't believe you did that to me. We then get a decent build going into WrestleMania 42, where we do Charlotte versus Alexa, Alexa heel, Charlotte the face. I think that's a really interesting dynamic. I think they have great chemistry together, so they don't need to win. It's one of these awesome situations where you can keep Charlotte Flair away from the world title scene, which some people want her to do for some reason I'll never understand. But I also think it shines a bigger spotlight on Alexa Bliss. Alexa's proven time and time again in the past. I actually think she's very likable as a babyface, but I think she's better as a heel. I think she has a better character work as a bad guy, so I would not have either one of them win. So this is me personally. I think Tiffany Stratton probably is the likely winner, but we do bold predictions on this show, not bald. I said bold. I'm throwing out Tiffany. I'm throwing out Charlotte. I'm throwing out Alexa Bliss. I'm going to throw out Asuka because I don't think we're going to do Asuka versus Jade Cargill. I would. If you're going to do a multi-person match, you may get in there. But the risk of doing multi-person matches, even more so if we do it with Cody Rhodes, etc., we'll talk about it, is that you're copying and pasting storylines. I just don't think it's going to be Asuka versus Jade Cargill, especially because we kind of did that last year as well, right? So I'm throwing Asuka out too, as much as it hurts me. And that does leave me with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. So I'm going to do with it, I'm making my bold prediction. Because on SmackDown last week, we had Jade look at Rhea and Rhea look at Jade, so Io looked at Julia and Julia looked at Io. I think the women's tag team titles have enough teams that Rhea and Io can lose it and they're still going to be okay. I think you can then go on to WrestleMania and do a big multi-person tag team match for the women's belt. But Rhea Ripley and Io Sky don't need to be in it. Let's move them over to SmackDown, unless we're going to do a big old draft we don't worry about. Do Jade versus Rhea, which I think is such an awesome WrestleMania match, and it is big women slapping man meat. And Io Sky versus Julia, if you give them the right time, and Io Sky can win that, it's still going to benefit Julia, because that match will be so spectacular. Hopefully we can get Julia out of this bizarre rut that she is in through no fault of her own. And maybe the last two people can be Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. They have a big old fight. I'm not saying that then leads into problems, which is why they lose the tag team titles, but I just think it's a nice full stop for everything they have done with those belts, which I've really, really enjoyed. They have their fight. Rhea Ripley wins. They then hug. They then go on to take on Lash Legend and Nia Jax on that SmackDown. They're still boating up, a little bit emotional from the Elimination Chamber. They lose, but again, Rhea Ripley's done that. It's so easy to get into Io Sky versus Julia because WWE has no idea what they're doing with that women's championship. I thought it was going to be Bianca versus Jade, but Rhea Ripley cannot be the tag team champion forever. She is a super duper whipper mega star. I think that she could help SmackDown a lot here, though I don't really want her to be removed from Raw either. But that's just not how things work. If we need to stick round things in round holes, let's do that. Let Rhea win the Chamber. Let Rhea win the belt at WrestleMania, which is a prediction we don't need to do. I really think her and Jay can have a great match. It's not going to main event, so it'll really, really ramp up that card in the middle, meaning there won't be a lull. I just think we should do it. And as I always say, there's always one person who's like, don't get Rhea Ripley. You're allowed not to get Rhea Ripley, but please do not ignore what a massive star she is. It's obvious. Listen to the reactions when she comes to the ring. That is the biggest currency in pro wrestling. So I'm going with Rhea Ripley. And again, the subtext, the subplot will absolutely be Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. And I'm sure there'll be some other things, like maybe Oscar and Tiffany Stratton can fall out, and that becomes a WrestleMania match. Although the Kabuki Warriors could go win those World Tag Team titles back as well, whatever you want to do. But after standing on ceremony, Mr. Wayne, I've said it now, and I've said it on all my videos, we could do this, we could do this. Well, I'm now writing it into law. Now, none of this will happen. I look like a fool, but I'm saying Rhea Ripley wins the Chamber. CM Punk versus Finn Balor is also on this show, and I guess we'll tie this into the mystery box as well. Well, we'll probably talk about it more. But there is an idea out there that maybe the demon comes out of the mystery box. I'm just going to poo-poo that now and say I don't think so. But yes, CM Punk is going to win. Ever since this feud was born into existence, everybody's been like, oh, there's no jeopardy to this fight. And I do agree with you, but because we're in fantasy booking mode here, I actually think it is serving a purpose. So sometimes, even though you do know the winner, if this feud is to lead to a different feud, then you have to do that. You've got to Jenga it. You've got to play a bit of a jigsaw. Because I think that, and Punk could be facing the demon, but I think you probably want to save that to WrestleMania, given the idea I'm about to propose to you. Punk and Finn Balor will have a great match. Chicago will be so in CM Punk's corner. I bet Finn Balor can be an awesome heel. Although they'll probably love Finn Balor too, because he has so much respect. And then, yes, out comes Dominic Mysterio, out comes JD McDonough. Tonight, on the day this video goes live, you'll have an episode of Raw. I think we're really going to lean into this fact that Dom and Finn are not getting on. How you can lean into it anymore, I don't know. It's been going on for like what feels like 15 plus years. But yes, maybe he comes out to help, maybe he comes out anyway. He screws the pooch, maybe on purpose, maybe by accident. CM Punk can win and then just forget about this because the Judgment Day will be on their knees, about to break up. You then go to WrestleMania, you do Dominic Mysterio versus the Demon Finn Balor. Finn Balor wins, he goes back to being babyface, he has his big entrance, he's the Intercontinental Champion, and then finally we rehab that belt, which has been a little bit wishy-washy in 2026. And if that's what we're going to do with Finn Balor, and he finally goes back to being the good guy, which so many people want, and we use a wild title feud to get there, I think that's fine, especially because right now CM Punk is in a holding pattern because quite clearly he's waiting till March until Roman Reigns returns. We just have to accept it for what it is, and if anyone deserves that schedule, it is Roman. So I really like this, and I seem to be a bit of an outlier, or maybe I'm just listening to the negative Nancy's on the internet, and it's probably the last time they're ever going to fight, and they should have had way more than 2 matches in the modern day, so I'm going to enjoy it as much as possible. And I love the idea of this Dominic Mysterio stuff because once again, it's the Judgment Day is done. I really like them, and I think they have been larger than the sum of their parts. They have done terrific together, but we just have to bring it to an end. I think we should have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez feuding too, and then whatever you want to do with Roxanne Perez, she can probably be a tag team with one of them as well. And I guess I don't know what you do with JD. I think JD could actually stay with Finn Balor. I think it may be Dominic that turns, and that's why it was so full on with JD and Finn. Then they can kind of do stuff after WrestleMania as well. And you want Dominic to kind of be standing on his own 2 feet. You want him to be left alone because Liv will eventually leave him. And JD will leave him, and it'll be a sad panda. I think this match is going to be great. I think it's going to be really good. But yes, I would put 99.9% of my guessing power on the fact that CM Punk is winning and Finn Balor is losing. But if all this other subtext happens, I genuinely am totally cool with it. I'm not saying because I think it's positive. I'm not saying it because it's the crazy thing to say. It's just what I believe deep in my tootsie toes, and I think it's going to be pretty flipping good. CM Punk's going to win. Dominic's going to screw his mate. Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee is also on this card. Have not enjoyed the build. We've talked about this. I would just implore you to go and watch my longer spiels about it because I don't want to give it to you again. The issue is saying I didn't like this is all of a sudden in 2026 that gets extrapolated into, well, he must absolutely hate these people, which is not true at all. I think Becky Lynch is the best women's wrestler in WWE history, or at least, top 5 conversation. And AJ Lee doesn't get the reception that she gets when she returns if she didn't have some magic in her shoes. So it just sometimes things don't click, right? You can't expect to like every single thing that is presented to you on television. That would make you a sociopath, even more so because you may be in the mood for ice cream and they're serving you burgers. Don't worry, there's going to be another show in a week's time, usually the next day, because wrestling is crazy. But it does mean when I try and figure out what we're going to do here, because you can argue that AJ Lee can win that title in front of a Chicago crowd and they're going to go absolutely nuts, right? Of course they are. They're going to love it. But you can also say, well, how do we get to the WrestleMania match, where I think is the plan here? I don't think they're just going to do a one and done. And AJ Lee winning that championship at WrestleMania, given the amount of people and the size of the event, is going to feel like a bigger achievement than doing it at the Elimination Chamber. So that's essentially what I think we're going to do. Becky Lynch will probably do something super underhanded here to cheat, and then AJ Lee will flip out on Raw over the next couple of weeks. There'll be a stipulation put in, maybe a street fight, maybe a weapons match of sorts. I don't know, a TLC. Don't do a TLC. But I think that's how then you justify the one at WrestleMania, which will feel bigger simply because you have added this stipulation. And AJ Lee wins it there. I'm intrigued to see how they work together in the ring on a one-on-one situation. My problem, too much, my issue with this is that we started back in September 2026, and now we're in February. We're only about to get to match 1. I know they did the intergender thing, and there's some other bits and bobs, but the big one-on-one I felt should have come at the Royal Rumble, but it didn't. So what are you going to do? Nothing. But I think it will be good. But I think Becky Lynch will win. AJ Lee will lose. AJ Lee will be screwed, and like I said, we kind of then sneak our way to WrestleMania. And Becky versus AJ Lee with a title change will be a feel-good moment, and ultimately that's what WrestleMania is all about. As I do talk to you though, yes, it's not really lighting up my world, but I really hope it is lighting up your world. I can't stand it when people say, I didn't like this and everyone should hate it too. I don't need to be miserable Marks. I can't say Marks. Miserable Michaels. There we go. That's much better. We have to find the positives in all of this. But right now, yeah, just a bit of a swing and a hit and a miss with me, but they're still great at what they do. You can be really, really good at what you do and sometimes not find the magic with someone, which is totally fine. Becky Lynch is going to win. Men's Elimination Chamber. I got my list up here. We have Randy Orton, we have LA Knight, we have Cody Rhodes, and we have Javon Evans. I think Trick Williams will win his qualifier. Again, you already know that by the time I'm talking to you. And then the other one is either going to be Bronson Reed or Jey Uso. That's a tough one because I'm just looking now. I mean, Randy Orton face, LA Knight face, Cody Rhodes face, Javon Evans face, Trick Williams heel. So I think it'll be Bronson Reed. I don't think we'll throw Jey Uso in there. I think Bronson Reed probably needs it more. Maybe Seth Rollins does come out of the box. We are going to talk about the box. Do not worry. I think Cody Rhodes has this one down. I think Aleister Black is probably going to screw over Randy Orton because we did tease that heavily. I don't like that feud. I don't even know why. You think I would. I'm like, meh. But I got to wait for it to play out to actually throw my 2 cents in there a little bit more. I think it is going to be Cody Rhodes versus Drew. I do think WWE is going to come up with a confangled way to sneak in Jey for 2, which is going to be very difficult because you absolutely take away the importance of the chamber. If Jey for 2 can get in there as well, why did Cody even bother? Just do what Jey for 2 does. Maybe just asks for it. They go, sure, Jey for 2. You can go in there. I'm not really sure what the subplots are. I mean, I just said Aleister Black versus Randy Orton, but of course he has fallen out with Trick, has old Randy as well. So you're probably going to do something there. Javon Evans being it is awesome because he's going to do crazy wazy stuff. I just kind of think Bronson Reed probably needs to get stomped by Seth Rollins, or at least the Masked Man. But is it as fun? The Masked Man will probably come up from one of the greats or underneath the ring. We've done that a lot in the Elimination Chamber. I think we'll do that here. But then I think to myself, is this the time to reveal it as Seth Rollins, what kind of condition he is? He's doing a lot of interviews at the moment. I want us to wait with Seth Rollins, though. I want him to be 100% healthy. But if he's not wrestling till WrestleMania and you wanted him to come back here, you probably could do. I think it actually is Grayson Waller under the hood. But I don't think it's going to be Grayson Waller as the reveal, unless we do go back to Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller, which I think WWE would struggle with, given how easy they wrote it off sort of a year or so ago, or whenever it was. But I think Bronson Reed will be taken out by Seth Rollins. However we do beat Bronson Reed, there has to be so much protection, because it will be the first time he's defeated properly, even though it's not really properly, it's a chamber match, since he beat Roman Reigns. I would argue that WWE hasn't necessarily capitalized on that as well as they have done. Is Brock Lesnar going to be in this? Is the other thing. Like as a Raw, here I come. I think he's on Raw on Monday, so again, the day you're you're watching this. But if we are teasing the LA Knight Brock Lesnar feud, does he come out and wreck LA Knight? And I'd rather do Obafemi and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, so I don't know. Happy that Gunther and Obafemi are not in this match. Neither of those guys should be losing. I just think this one is a shut-up shot. I think Cody Rhodes has to win. I think WWE still sees them as their top face of the company. Babyface, which he is. And go through the history books like a Hulk Hogan, a Steve Austin, a John Cena. Anytime we would sit here and go, man, I'm going to come up with a really interesting, fascinating idea, they just won. Because that's what the majority of people wanted to see. And I think it's the same with Cody. Loads of people are like, oh my gosh, Cody's got to turn heel. It's a very small percentage of people at the moment. Listen to the people in the buildings. Unless we go to like a European place where they just like to have all the fun in the world. I don't think the experiment is dead. It's not even an experiment anymore. It just is a thing. Cody Rhodes has risen to the top of the wrestling industry. I can't see anyone else fighting Drew. Like Randy versus Drew, we've kind of seen it over and over again. LA Knight versus Drew would be interesting, but you'd have to have LA Knight win. I can't see WWE doing that. We talked about Cody. Javon Evans is there to be awesome, but he's not going to main event WrestleMania in that, guys. I mean, Bronson Reed could win. I wouldn't mind it, but I think WWE should have done loads more legwork before this. And I just think Trick Williams versus Randy Orton is probably on the cards, or even a Trick Williams versus the LA Knight, because they are very similar characters. And then LA Knight would probably lose. And then those fans of LA Knight are going to be super duper mad, as you would expect. But I'm just going to go with Cody. This isn't a very bold prediction, but I just cannot. I like, even when I do my crazy predictions, I like to come up with a reason why. Like I've shown you my maths. If I say 2 + 2 = potato, I'll show you how I got to the potato. I can't figure out any pathway here except for lol, Cody Rhodes wins. And I want him to win, right? I don't mind if Jacob Fatu does sneak his way in there as long as WWE comes up with something good. But Cody Rhodes should win the chamber. Cody Rhodes is the top babyface. Cody Rhodes should be going after a world championship at WrestleMania. That's just how I see it. And does it mean I'm right? Of course not. Look at me. Right, the box. Who is going to be in the box? Now, I did a list on Friday about this, or Saturday, over the weekend. Make sure you go and check it out. Now, this was before I'd seen any updates, so I'm just kind of using my intuition here. Could it be Danhausen? Yes. Would I love it to be Danhausen? Yes. Could it be Chris Jericho? Absolutely. Could it be a trick of Danhausen? People are like, oh my gosh, Danhausen. And then Chris Jericho arrives? Yes. Could it be the Demon Finn Balor? That's what I was hitting at earlier as a way to do it. Yes, but I think it's a bit lame. Could it be the Gobbledygooker? Absolutely. They've done it before. Could it be nothing? Yes. Because WWE has thrown so many of these stories out the window. Could it be a video game announcement? Well, once again, follow my train of thought here. Because my back is against the wall, and just because, once again, I cannot figure out anything else, I think all of a sudden, all these rumors and these news reports like, oh my gosh, Chris Jericho's AEW contract isn't out or over yet, and the fact he's on his podcast, he's filming a movie in March, I'm just going to say it's Chris Jericho. I mean, I don't actually believe this, but I have to put a prediction down. Otherwise, what are we doing here? How lame would I be? I would really love it to be Danhausen. I'm a huge fan of Danhausen. I fought Danhausen. I almost best time with Danhausen. I think Danhausen, I understand why he's an acquired taste. I think a gimmick like that shouldn't be for everyone. That's why it's so fun. But I think what he has done within wrestling is truly fantastic. Because what the flub is it? I don't know. But I think it's so damn great. You know what? My bold prediction will be we'll do the Danhausen Chris Jericho 1-2, whoop-de-woo. So Danhausen comes out and then you get the timer or something like that. There's just something about the fact it's in Chicago and it is 25 years since Jericho. No, it's 27 years. He debuted in 1999, so it's more than 25 years. It's around about a quarter of a century since he did do it there. Though is that really a thing, a 27-year, whatever? I don't know. I'm just saying these names because fair play to WWE. They got me on the back foot with this one. So I'll go a combo of Danhausen and Chris Jericho. And I would love that. It's like a Reddit thread come to life. Now, once again, please do drop me your predictions down there as well. And thank you once again to NordVPN. You'll see the link and all my stuff down there as well. When you are there, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the video on the screen to get my latest thoughts on the pro wrestling world. Otherwise, it is patreon.com/Simon316. It is grillermine.com/Simon. You go to Simon to get money off percentage-wise. And also, you can ship worldwide. So why wouldn't you do this? Simon316 on social media. Brand new YouTube channel, Under the Mat. They are dumb. Hey, EW. Between Two Ferns interview-style interviews. If you watched my content for a while, we did this in 2016. They're back. I just want to do something creative and I enjoy them. Otherwise, TikTok, Cameo, and Pro Wrestling Tees to support me there. I appreciate you, my friends. See you soon.